This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get up to $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with code GOLFSGPN. The last week of our merch holiday sale is here. It's your last chance to get some Golf Gambling Podcast merch at 25% off, and everything else is 25% off until the end of the week. Promo code HOLIDAY. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. You're getting the best prices. They're available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 and use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And finally, Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000x. So Dom's going to kick us off with an Underdog pick'em entry that he likes for round one of the Hero World Challenge, and I'll give one that I like as well. So Dom, what do you like?
Yeah, starting off on Underdog for the first round. Hideki Matsuyama lower than 69.5 over on Underdog. That is going to be my play.
I like that. I'm going to go with Andrew Novak, a guy who's hot on the Bermuda to make more than or higher than 4.5 birdies in round one. He has been really hot, at least in the round we saw, or the 4 rounds we saw from him at the RSM Classic. I like him to kick it into gear and keep going to make some more birdies. That's Andrew Novak and Hideki Matsuyama as our Underdog plays for round one of this Hero World Challenge. And we're here, one last event of the 2025 season. Not really a real event, but we promised you guys we'd have something to talk about. But before we get into the Hero World Challenge, we want to talk a little bit about end of the season stuff, some new guys coming onto the PGA Tour, some guys who are in that weird 101 to 125 range. So what are you noticing when you look at that weird range of whatever status we have? Because nobody knows really what's going on, but you know better than most people.
Yeah, so obviously the top 10 DP World Tour guys got their cards. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But looking at like the guys who made it through the FedEx Cup fall and got full status that are 1 through 100 if they're not already exempt, like if they haven't already won a certain tournament, it got pretty tight towards the end. I mean, there's some guys who are 101 to 125 who are conditional. Those guys basically will just fall behind all of the people who have won a PGA Tour tournament, the guys who finished in the top 100, the Korn Ferry Tour guys, the DP World Tour guys, the medical guys. So, like, there's a pretty long list ahead of the conditional status guys. But if you are if you're 101, 102, like, I mean, Lee Hodges, Ricky Castillo, they're probably going to get in some events. But if you look at this year, like Pearson Coody was one of the top conditional status guys, and I think he only played 12 PGA Tour events. Like, I mean, he was primarily on the Korn Ferry Tour, but he was an alternate in most of them and just not getting in. And now the field size is being trimmed a little bit, so it'll be interesting. I think the Sony Open, and then shortly after that, I mean, whatever is after that is going to really tell how much of a chance these conditional guys have of getting in.
Yeah, and like the way the tour is trending, and with this new commissioner coming in, he's talking about starting the PGA Tour season next year after the Super Bowl. Like, there's a world in which the PGA Tour becomes like the All-Star Tour, and the Korn Ferry Tour becomes really, really important and much bigger. Like we saw last year, the KFT got a lot more TV coverage. Who knows? Maybe it could just get bigger. And like, not that I'm for that, but it would be cool to see some of those Korn Ferry Tour events just mean so much more and just make it such a competitive tour with those. If you put those 100 to 150 guys, 100 to 175 guys on the Korn Ferry Tour, like, not that the Korn Ferry Tour is not legit, but that would make it a legitimate golfing tour and would be fun to bet and fun to watch. So I totally agree with what you're saying. And I talked about some of the DP World Tour guys. I'll mention a guy that I think is going to have a really good name. And a lot of these guys that we know already. We know like these aren't anyone that we're not trying to break any news with these top 10 DP World Tour guys. But I want to touch on Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson. He is a guy who's played on the PGA Tour here and there, had some really good starts on Europe as well. But he's a Dane. You know I love my Danes. And with Rasmus, he's a golfer that I'm going to look for on these positional courses that you really have to spike with the irons. He's not the longest hitter in the world. He can get out there, but once he gets hot with the irons, he gets absolutely scorched earth. He played his college golf at Oklahoma State. Should mean he's a great win player, and we know how great these young Oklahoma State guys have been the last 5-10 years. So Rasmus Niergaard Peterson is a golfer that I'm really going to be looking out for early on in 2026 and throughout the whole year, honestly.
Yeah, he's the one that stuck out to me. I'm glad he had a pretty good final round in that last DP World Tour event to kind of solidify his spot in the top 10 here. But yeah, like you said, when we saw Rasmus Niergaard Peterson earlier this year, I mean, solo second in Puerto Rico, T12 at the US Open. He did a lot of damage, obviously, on the DP World Tour to get his card. And I think he's third in odds over there this week. So he is going to be an interesting one. The one thing I wanted to touch on, and I tweeted it earlier tonight, I am so mad that they lock 10 spots up and then some of these guys go to live. There has to be a process moving forward where they say, Marco Penji, do you want the PGA Tour card? Yes or no? And then it goes down. Like Laurie Cantor is taking a spot from Daniel Brown this year. Same thing happened to, luckily, Jordan Smith got his card this year and he landed 10th on the dot. But Tom McKibben was in this spot last year, went to live. Jordan Smith technically would have been in the top 10 if it would have been passed up. But this is a new system, obviously, the third year. How do you think they should go about this? Don't you think these guys who are in the top 10 should either accept or decline it?
Well, yeah, I did see that. Then I looked at an article that was published 2 weeks ago. And it says Dan Brown has that 10th spot. So I don't know if they're going to give it to him or because Cantor's off the list. Because I did notice that. And I remember how important Dan Brown's final week was. And he was just starting to get hot and he had a not a good enough week. But I do think Dan Brown has that final spot. Like it has his stats, his best PGA Tour finish. So I do think he's got it. He got it.
I hope he does because I just
Yeah.
remember last year, I don't know if it was a new process or they didn't know how to handle it, but I remember Jordan Smith was sitting at 11th but I think McKibben went after the calendar year. I'm pretty sure McKibben went to live pretty late.
No, well, he did go late because he had the card. Then he was one of the final guys who went, and everyone was really shocked. Everyone was really hyped because I remember doing a show early last year, like a 2025 season preview, and I was talking about McKibben for X tournament, and then he went really late. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. I can see some of these, maybe one or two of these guys going. Like How Tong to Live makes sense. Like Chris Wrighton makes sense. Like even Rasmus or Jordan Smith makes sense. So it could still happen, but nonetheless, these guys are winners and guys can play. I mean, Marco Penja is getting all the love. He's an absolute bomber. Going to play on a ton of PGA Tour courses. You hit it far on PGA Tour, you're going to be doing really well. Christopher Wrighton came out of nowhere last year and just became one of the best, like literally out of nowhere. And he had a stretch for like 2 months where he would get into the final round like a 15 strokes back and finish in the top 5. Just had insane final round. So all these guys you got to look out for. We've been seeing some the last few years. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and we didn't even touch on like How Tong and Nakajima are so fun. Like I can't wait to see an entire season out of both of them.
Nakajima is such a stud. Like him too on those positional golf courses, absolute problem. Definitely looking forward to him.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into what do you want to do? Touch on some
last thing, just the Laurie Cantor thing. Does that shock you at all that like he got kicked off of Live, went to DP, got his PGA Tour card, and went back to Live? Like he's clearly just chasing the bag, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, Laurie played bad at the wrong time, and then he played well at the right time to get his card back. But he wants to make money. He knows he's not trying to be a top 10 golfer in the world. He gets on those stretches and can make birdies and bunches, but I think he's doing fine for himself.
And now I think
they need him too.
It's such a thank God Live came about because with this top 100, there'd be a lot of golfers who just wouldn't be playing meaningful golf. So I'm glad Live is here. Like I think it serves a great purpose. But yeah, to the Laurie Cantor point, I mean, there's no reason to go on the PGA Tour for 1 year and then you have to battle to be top 10 when you can make triple to quadruple what you would make on a full season. So
no, I'm with you. It should be a fun year. I'm actually excited for Live too. I know we don't talk about much Live here, but going 4 rounds, I am excited for Jon Rahm to have 7 wins this year.
Yep.
Should be fun. Let's talk about the Hero World Challenge. as resort course as it gets. I looked at the weather this week, 75 and sunny. Good for these guys. If you get invited to the Hero World Challenge, good for you. You're having a good week. You're drinking a lot. You're at a resort. You're in the Bahamas. The golf is easy. It is a hit the fairway, get a wedge or short iron in your hand, and mint birdies. We've seen Scotty get to minus 25. We've seen it kick up a little bit, and it's still minus 21. I don't see any weather in the forecast this week as of now. I'm expecting it to be point and shoot, get hot in the Bermuda. A very Scotty Scheffler golf course. I think he's finished top 3 the last 2 years with 2 wins. What else am I going to say about the golf course? It's a crapshoot in terms of who's not drinking, who's going to make more birdies that's not named Scotty Scheffler. With that being said, what's your Scotty Scheffler outlook for – now, we'll talk about him season long later, but for this week. Like, he hasn't been playing in a while, obviously. Played the Ryder Cup. Like, what do you think Scotty's here to do?
I would assume he's here to win, just based on the purse alone. I mean, I would assume he's here to win. I hate the drop-off. I wish there was a little bit more of a challenge up towards the top of the board, but the odds are probably exactly where they should be, being a 20-man field. With that being said, when it comes to the outright market, I will probably be completely hands-off this week. I don't mind taking him on. Like, if I'm extremely confident in somebody by the end of tomorrow and want to hammer someone at 20 or 25, sure. It's just like if you look at the odds board, like, you're not getting a ton of value. You're taking on Scotty Scheffler, and you have to pay like I'll get into Matsuyama in a little bit. Obviously, I touched on him being my underdog pick, but I like the way Hideki sets up this week at 20-1. Can I actually get there? There's no way.
I mean, I agree. Like, it's a tough board because when Scotty looks at his field, he's like, how do I not win this really? Like, what am I going to do wrong to not win this? Do you want to go to the without Scotty market? I don't know. I'm probably going to take him on 2. Not often does someone win 3 straight events, but also not often people are named Scotty Scheffler. With that being said, I don't think I'm paying 11-12 for Bob, JJ Spawn, or Cam Young.
No.
Once the board opens up, like, we've seen guys come out of nowhere and finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th in this event. I think there could be some names down the board that I'm going to mention soon that I think could be those guys. And I think I have 2 names that I want to touch on. But, like, I'm with you. Like, I don't want to chase a number up here. But if there's someone 11 to 14, 15, who's the guy for you? Because for me, it's Cam Young.
Up at the top, yeah, Cam Young.
Yeah.
I like a couple guys once you get into the 20s, but I can't make the case for Bobby Mack or Spawn or Keegan or Sam. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get there to be a JJ Spawn guy, but I definitely won't get there at 14-1 regardless of what he's shown us.
I've bet Sam Burns in this event, I think, twice. And he had a moment, I think, 2 years ago when he was playing really well and then made a Davis Thompson-esque 8 at the drivable par 4 where he couldn't trip it up onto the green and was just absolutely lost. So Sam makes sense. Like, it's Bermuda. He probably wants to win. He should be fired up with Lane Kiffin. But I don't think it's the worst number. Like, it might be a good place to start.
Yeah.
But so who's your guy after Cam Young? Because I don't think I could pay Cam Young at 12-1. Like, he makes sense, and Cam Young's going to disappoint you when he makes sense. So is it Decky down here? Is that your next guy?
It is Decky. It is okay. Decky. He's been playing a little bit of golf. I mean, 2 weeks ago he was in Japan, finished T5, which I'm not going to write home about. He probably should have been a little bit higher. It looks like he stumbled out of the gate in round 1. But just looking back and recapping Hideki's 2025, it was extremely steady, but he definitely fell off after he won at the Century by a ton of strokes and set a PGA Tour record. I mean, he was 5th in the official world golf ranking after that win at Century. He's down to 20 right now. It's not, like I said, it's not like he played bad. He was really steady. He just didn't have another win. He wasn't in contention too many weeks, but overall stats for the 2025 season, he was 20th in approach, 10th in proximity, 5th in approach from 200 plus yards, which we know Hideki's good with his long irons, obviously. And then the thing that really shocked me about Hideki this year is his stats on and around the green. I mean, he was 10th in scrambling. A lot of the putting metrics looked good. But like I said at the top, 20-1 is just so hard to get to from an outright perspective. I'd probably rather go to like a top 5 at plus 230. I think you're better off chasing something like that than betting 20-1 that Hideki's the guy that beats Scotty.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. And like the more I look at this board, I'd probably prefer to go to like Aaron Rye at 18 than any of these other guys because I feel like Aaron Rye cares so much. Like Aaron Rye is here to win. We've seen him get really hot. He's just played really well on the DP World Tour. He just won the DP World Tour.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, he won this. I think it was the first playoff of anyone. He beat Tommy in a playoff.
Yep.
Like he's probably here to win. But then really the first guy that catches my eye down the board is Akshay Bhatia. 22-1, 25-1 probably in some other spots. He's got Griner on the bag, and I believe the breakthrough is coming. Like if he could hit fairways, we know what he could do with wedges. Hasn't hit anything near his peak, and this could be a great way to end his year and start the new year into the season because we know what his goals are. He wants to be on the Ryder Cup. He wants to be in the President's Cup. I mean, someone's got to be the future. Why not step up here? So I think it's a good number on Akshay in this field.
Those are exactly my two guys, Rye and Bhatia. We're on the same page.
We're dialed, which is probably not a good thing, but we're dialed.
No, but I was looking at, I'll touch on Aaron Rye a little bit more. Looking at like 2025, it was a little bit weird. He made almost every single cut. He was 17 of 21. Only had 2 top 10s to show for it, which was a little odd, except 10 of his 17 cuts made were top 25. And like you said, the win at Abu Dhabi, he's been playing a lot better over here on the DP World Tour as of late. So I don't know. Statistically, he was solid across the board, top 25 in approach, off the tee, and greens and regulation. So I think you can get a 20 on Aaron Rye. So that's not a horrible number. I would probably lean, I would say Rye over Decky, but I don't know. That's pretty close for me.
Yeah, and then the only other guy that I like towards in terms of the market is Andrew Novak.
Yeah,
his number got disrespected in the RSM Classic, and we talked about it. I didn't jump on it, but it showed like this dude knows how good he is, and he's confident as ever. Panthers keep winning. Like life is good for Andrew Novak right now. 40-1 in this field, like he knows he could beat these guys. I mean, maybe not Scotty, but the rest of them he knows he could beat.
I think he can though, like on any given day.
I mean, yeah, and the dude like was finished top 10 in this field more than anyone else in this field except for Scotty, like last year. Disrespectful number on Novak. We're on Bermuda. Like the dude should be licking his chops. He just played some great golf. I'm in on Novak.
I agree. I think it's a very disrespectful number, especially with who he's down there around. I mean, we've done the whole Wyndham Clark thing. Obviously, that's kind of dead. Yeah. Billy Horschel, no thanks. I think even from like a DFS perspective, Novak is just a great value. He allows you to fit some guys in up the board. So, yeah, that's a great value if you're going to go that deep. I could make the case for Novak at 45 over a lot of these guys at 20 or sub 20. It just makes a lot more sense. I mean, not saying he has a better chance to win, but there's just a lot more value there than chasing one of these guys that are mixed in up towards the top of the board.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like there's names in the middle that we didn't touch on, but I don't think Corey Connors can make anywhere near enough putts. Alex Noren is interesting. He's playing really good golf right now, and he seems to be motivated, a little bit disrespected that he had to get his PGA Tour card maybe via the DP World Tour. Not that it was anyone's fault but his own, and he missed some time due to injury. But I can't really – like the guys that I can bet real money on are Novak, Rye, Sam Burns are probably be my guys. So, yeah. I mean, anyone else you want to touch on? I don't think we need to go through our bets because this field is so small. Those are the guys I'm going to be hammering in the markets that we usually touch on. But is there anything else you want to touch on?
I'll just go to Noren again. I mean, you brought up the last guy on my list. Had the 2 wins on the DP World Tour since the end of August, so both pretty recent. The British Masters and the BMW PGA. Like you said, got his card through the DP World Tour top 10 because he didn't play a whole lot on the PGA this year. But looking at more recent form, I mean, he's riding back-to-back top 20 finishes on the DP World Tour, and these fields are pretty strong in the late season. I mean, that's where most of these guys are playing their golf. So it's good to see Noren back into form. I mean, I think he's 17th in the world right now. So definitely playing good golf. His official world golf rank shows that. And I think he's worth a look. So yeah, I got the three guys really in the 20s, Hideki, Ryan, and Noren that I'm really looking at from an outright perspective and for
Beautiful. And
positionals.
also, I meant to mention Akshay Bhatia. He's another guy that I will
Yeah.
wager real dollars on. But quick show on the Hero World Challenge. That about wraps it up. We're gonna do a season in review or season preview in some sorts, probably later this month or early January.
Yep.
Because we have some time to kill, some time to touch on the new golf. But thank you guys all for the awesome 2025. This may be our last show of this year. So again, thank you, Dom. It was a great ride. Cash some outrights along the way, and back and better than ever next year. Got some big things planned, and we're definitely very excited.